Grace and peace. God bless. I'm going to get into this. I'm not going to be on long. I just want to drop something that's really been on my heart lately, and I want to share this with you tonight. Just before we get started, I want to invite you all to 5 a.m. prayer at our local assembly in Bridgeport, Connecticut, 1858 Barnum Avenue. 5 a.m. prayer in person. I want to invite you, if you are interested, just come on in and pray with us. We're certainly expecting a wonderful time with the Lord, something the Lord called us to. And so we are inviting all intercessors and those of you who really need to hear from the Lord. This is a wonderful time to do that. So we're opening up our local church for prayer at 5 a.m. on Thursday mornings from 6 a.m. Sorry, from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. So I've been dealing with this. I don't know if we really understand. I don't know if we really understand what type of relationship the Lord wants with his people. I'm not sure if that is understood. I think that from the way that many of us go about our relationship with the Lord is very toxic. It's not healthy. It's very unbalanced. It's very one-sided. And I think we've gotten so accustomed to treating God any kind of way that the only time that we really regard him is when we're in trouble, when we're sick, or if it's to during sometimes even in worship. Our worship experiences sometimes are one-sided, and I'm not saying everyone feels this way, but I do know a large majority of us don't really value the relationship with God as we should. Now, let me tell you what I mean by this. And this is not just indicative of us in the 21st century, 22nd century. It's really how people have gauged their relationship with the Lord all through history. And I become much more aware of this once I came back from Israel. And I see you, sweetheart. God rest in peace. I started really thinking about true, sincere intimacy with the Lord, and that brought me into a place of not just looking at him as God, but also as a father, as a friend, as someone that I could talk to and communicate with, and he would communicate with me. And to be honest with you, it's something that he opened up. So let me just make this really quick. I don't want to get too far in this. I see this happening. I've been seeing this happening for years, and many of you have seen it too. That when we say stuff like, well, when I used to go to prisons and minister to men in who are incarcerated, there was a phrase that there was a term that guys would say about other guys who were going to church when they got in trouble. You just got jailhouse religion. And it was some kind of notion that you can just use God and thinking, you get in trouble. Now, you're just trying to use God until you get out of trouble. And, the reality is this, you can't just manipulate God, right? It's not like that. He can't just say, I'm just going to go to church. Like, God don't know that after he blesses you or brings you out, that you're going to go back to what you always done. That's not a secret to God. God is not like surprised about that. He knows what you're going to do. He knows your heart. He knows your motives. He knows everything he needs to know. But God actually, and I'll say this, I would say like maybe, but he kind of plays along, right? He kind of allows you the access to him, and he will bring you out, and he will answer your prayer, and he will be that loving father, knowing all too well that you're going to turn your back on him once you get what you got. And but that there is not really, that doesn't hurt God at all, right? It doesn't hurt God to bless you. It doesn't hurt God to bring you out, and then all of a sudden you turn your back on him. That's not, he's not looking at it that way. That's not how he sees it. That's how we see it. But that's not how God sees it. God looks for an opportunity to show himself mighty in your life. So hopefully at one point or another, at some point or another, and I believe this is the heart of God, that eventually you'll get to realize that the Lord loves you, and you will start seeing the benefits of being in a relationship with him, and not just try to use him for what you can get from him. And once you get to that point with the Lord, it all changes. Everything changes. And I want to express that to you even more. So everything changes once you realize how wonderful it is to be in a relationship with God. Everything changes. Okay? Like, all your perspective of life changes, your perspective of the word changes, your perspective of human beings change. All that changes once you have come to the realization that God is a wonderful father who really is willing to walk this thing out with you. And he's not there trying to pick you apart and trying to judge you and throw you under the bus. That's not his heart. His heart is, he wants a relationship with you. But the problem is that we're so toxic in our understanding of relationships that we kind of we try to bring that toxicity to our relationship with the Lord. And that in lies what I was saying. Like, you get in a situation, and then you go and cry out to God, and then he brings you out, and then you make all these promises, and then once you're out of the woods, or at least you feel like you can see the light down the tunnel, you go back to your old way. Right? You start running back to your old way. Or God gives you all these gifts and abilities, and then you go take them to the world, or use them in your own space, or try to find a way to benefit. It has nothing to do with what he cares about. And let's be clear, when you really love the Lord, you start caring about what he cares about. Right? When you really are in a healthy relationship with the Lord, you really care about the things he cares about. And you don't think about it the way that others think about it. Right? Like, for instance, if you really love the Lord, you'll start helping people, knowing that they'll never say thank you, or they'll never appreciate it. They'll leave you flat. They'll walk away from you. They'll talk about you. They'll run you down, but you'll still help them, right? Because you know that when you're helping them, it pleases God. So you don't really take it personal. You try not to. I mean, when you're young and immature in ministry, yeah, you take it personal, because you haven't really understood it yet. You're not there yet. But once you get to the place where you are in love with the Lord, and you really want to please him, what people do, how they do, why they do, all that stuff falls off of you. You don't carry any of that. You understand from a real pure and wholesome place that I wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. Colossians tells us we regard not the flesh. So you really start walking in that. Like, so everything you do as unto the Lord. So as a preacher, as a man of God, as a pastor, as a prophet, whatever you're called to do, whatever you do it as unto the Lord. Whether they give you thank you, whether they appreciate it, whether they turn you flat, whether they run you down, it don't matter anymore, because you understand that all of that I do is for him. But this toxicity that we're bringing into our relationship is not new, right? We see that in Haggai. The Bible talks about, and this is interesting, think about this. The Bible talks about how the Lord brought them out. He was building the wall again, restoring the temple. For who? For a place that they can go and worship the Lord, right? And then what do? They start actually taking panels that were designed to rebuild the church, right? Go to Haggai 1:4. You'll see it. To rebuild the church, and the purpose was to beautify the house. But then they said, well, it's not the time to start beautifying God's house. So, okay, well, God is like, well, then when is the time? Like, God's like, what about my house? Here it is. Your house is all wonderful. Again, it lies that relationship thing I was telling you about, that toxicity. Like, you could have the nerve to say, well, you don't really need nothing to work out, and you don't really need your house to be beautiful. What about our house? So this selfishness that comes across, and we do that to each other. So you see that in relationship that you're in. You see that in relationships that others are in. This whole thing about what about me? What about my stuff? And we do that to God all the time. And you know what? And again, that's toxicity. That's kind of you taking advantage of a situation. You're taking advantage of his love, his mercy, which we all do. We all take advantage because we can't do anything we don't earn it. But the reality is that we take advantage, but we never really give anything back. And then we expect God to always be there. Think about that. Think about how we treat him. Think about how we want him to be there for us. We want him to bring us out, heal us. And we just do this over and over and over, and we don't give anything back. Or we give just a little bit to kind of help us with our guilt, but we don't really serve with a pure heart. And that's toxicity. That's that twist that we have when we deal with God. The other thing I want to bring, and I'm going to let you go with this, is that we talk a real good game, especially when we're around people, around church people, but we don't really have that real sentiment in our heart when we're in our private space. And that's when God really engages you. He can really tell how much you really love him based on the things that you do and how it's the time you spend with him in private, the time you spend with him for real. And I know based on what I'm looking at across the spectrum of our churches, that many people don't spend time with the Lord in prayer or his word, not for their own self-development or self maturity or growth, but they may do a lot of spending time to try to preach and teach, but not really spending time with God and trying to build that relationship with him. And so, and you can tell just by how we carry ourselves, by how we conduct ourselves. The Bible tells us in Matthew, I believe it's in Matthew 15:8, it says, these people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Right. So he says they worship me in vain. So, we have this whole idea of what we say with lip service and talking, but the heart is really what God wants. And I know that many of us really haven't spent enough time with the Lord to try to build that relationship with him. I'm talking about not the relationship to try to preach and teach and all that stuff that we like to do when we're performing, but I'm talking about that real intimacy relationship. How do you know that you are in a relationship with the Lord? How do you know that you are in a relationship with the Lord? Is that when God can call you to the carpet or say something to you, and you'll be grateful that he said it. God will say stuff to you that will challenge the way that you're treating somebody else, right? And then you're like, wow, that's something, Lord. I'm glad you brought that to my attention. I'm glad that you showed me that. Let me give you an example. I remember one time with my one of my daughters and one of our daughters, and they were about to do something that I didn't really approve of. And it wasn't criminal, it was just a decision they made with their life. And so as they began to make these changes, I did not like that. So they needed me to do something, and I wasn't going to do it until the Lord said to me, and this is how the Lord approached me with it. He said to me, if they did everything you wanted them to do, would you do that? If they did what you wanted them to do, or if she did what you wanted her to do, would you help her with this thing that she's asking you for? And I said, yeah. He says, well, no, that's not love. That's not my kind of love. That's witchcraft. That's control. He said, I don't do that to you. Like, you don't do everything I want you to do. Right? He's like, he said, I'll never forget this. He said, you don't do everything I want you to do. And I still love you. I still do things for you. I still take care of you. I still bless you. And it pricked my heart. And immediately I was like, whoa. right? See, those are the moments when you know. And then I had changed my whole direction because of that one revelation, right? And I would even call it a rebuke. And so I think that when you are gauging your relationship with the Lord and if it's toxic or not, you automatically are willing or available. I'll say that you are available for correction. You are available for discipline. You are available for revelation. Your heart is open toward the Lord. Your heart is open toward God, and you're willing to accept correction. So you don't need someone to come along and rebuke you and all that, because now you have a real clear understanding of God, and God knows your heart. So when you ask the Lord, tell me, I want to make sure I'm doing this right. Am I seeing this right? And there are some times when you're serving and you're giving, and people or situations don't do what they're supposed to do, and the Lord tell you straight right out the gate, you automatically start realizing, man, that's it's not about that, right? It's not about that. I'll give you another example. I remember one time we were down in our church was in Norwalk, and we had a good few people come in, right? And so, but it wasn't to where I wanted. You know how we are. And I said to the Lord, I said, what's going on, Lord? Like, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to keep doing this? You know how we pastors and leaders get all caught up in our feelings. You want us to keep doing this? Like, they ain't coming, or they came, they were, all kinds of church stuff, that kind of thing. And I remember that. And the Lord stopped me in my tracks. He said, well, let me ask you a question. He says, do I give you everything you want? I said, yeah. Are you lacking anything? No. You driving the car you want? Yeah. You making the money you want? Yeah. Your kids are healthy. Everybody's good? Yeah. He said, so what's your problem? And I was like, he said, what's your problem? Why are you concerning yourself with my bride? All I am telling you to do, son, is preach to my people. That's it. Minister to them, love them. That's it. You don't, all that other stuff that you're looking at the wrong direction. You're looking at the wrong thing. I called you to preach. I called you to sow. I called you to be available. Whether they come or not, whether they accept or not, that is not your problem. Your job is to cry loud and spare not. Your job is to sow seed. Your job is to shepherd my people. Your job is to teach the word of God. Do what you have been called to do, and I'll deal with everything else. And that was it. And again, those are the moments when the Lord knows your heart is open toward him. Those are the moments where you're like, okay, I got it. And I think I really know, I'm telling you, saints, that the only way that you can get out of this toxic relationship or your toxic, dysfunctional way of approaching God, because it's really one-sided, it's distorted, it's dysfunctional, it is toxic, because you don't really regard him. Many of you don't regard him as a father. You look at him as I could give you a quick litany test. This is how you know whether or not you really love the Lord or not, right? This is how you know that you are not in a toxic relationship. Ask yourself this: am I caring for the things that he cares about? Am I doing that? I'm not. See, prayer is for you. Church is for you. I'm going to church every Sunday. That's not it. Church, that's a part of it. But ask yourself, am I loving what he loves? Am I serving what he serves? Am I doing what he wants me to do? Or am I doing what I want to do, and I ask him just to show up or just, be there when I need him? Am I really putting out that work? Am I really going above and beyond? Am I really spending that time? I'm talking about this. See, you can fake the funk with everybody else, right? You can fake the funk in church. You can hook up a shot. You can run around. But I'm talking about, this is between you and God. Am I in a relationship with the Lord for real, or is it really just, can I just get what I can get? Stop playing games with yourself. Everybody knows. Every one of you do know. Everybody here that I'm talking to know what I'm saying, what I'm talking about. I don't play those games where you act like, well, the Lord knows my heart. Stop that. That's church jargon, don't mean nothing, right? Can you get a prayer through? Do you have a real intimacy with God? Not when you're in trouble, not when things are falling apart. I'm talking about day to day, right? Can God just start talking to you out of nowhere about you, not about your neighbor or your child or whatever you're dealing with? I'm talking about you. Can God get if God says, do this, would you just get up and do it? Right? God tells a man he's blind, go wash in that pool over there, right? Dirty pool. God tells one man, spits on the ground, puts spit in this man's eyes. Like all that kind of stuff. Walk around Jericho 7 times. All those kinds of things. I mean, can God get you up at 3 a.m. and say, let's pray? Or are you struggling because you want to sleep more? Are you really available? And that's how you can tell. Because when you're in trouble, know how you act when you're in trouble, because all of us had it. All of you know how you act when you're in trouble. You know how you do when you're in trouble, right? So just because you're not in trouble, ask yourself, am I as aggressive? Am I praying as much? Am I reading my word as much when I'm not as I do when I'm not in trouble? No, if you say I'm not doing that, then your relationship with the Lord is toxic. If you are not giving God all that energy, right? All that attention that you give him when you're in a hospital or when your kid's in trouble or when you got something bill that needs to be paid. If that energy is not the same, then you are in a toxic relationship. You are in this crazy, twisted relationship. And it's really all in your mind, because God is really not, he knows that you're acting like this, but he knows that you need to get delivered. He knows you need to get set free. It goes to, when the Lord starts asking questions to his people, right? And we start kind of seeing this stuff. Like, if I am your father, this is what he says. If I am your father, where is my honor? Come on, it's not these questions that God asks are not like rocket science. If I'm your father, where's my honor? All right. And if you only give me what you want me to have, like you took your panels, hey guy, you took your panels and you put them in your house. So are you taking everything from what you get from the Lord and you're not giving it back to him? Or are you just taking what you can get and then you that blesses your home, that blesses your life? Are you just taking what you can get to bless you? What about them? I taught on this a few months ago. What about the lost? What about the people out there that God's heart is going toward? You are in the ark of safety. God has saved you. But what about them? What kind of work are you putting in with the lost? I mean, for Jesus' sake, not for your own benefit. But I'm talking about what kind of real work are you putting in, because you know God's heart is toward the lost. That God said, I would that no soul perish and go to hell. All souls are mine, amen. But the soul that sins shall surely die. Where is that kind of passion? Right? Why is it you got to be pulling teeth for people to evangelize or to witness? Why do I have to pull teeth for you to show up at the house of God and to give God your praise? Why is it now you comfortable with sitting home watching a service on TV in your pajamas, acting like you in church? You are not in church. All right. If you were really in church, you would get dressed, you get your body. If you really gonna do the virtual thing, come on, I'm in church. No, you ain't. If you wear slippers to church, you wear your nightgown to church, you got your head in the bond. No, you don't. So get dressed like you would get dressed for church and go to church at the house if you're going to do that. Stand up when we stand up, sing when we sing, clap when we clap, but you don't do that because you reduce your time in worship to a screen on the show, and you think God is pleased with that. You think that's the same as somebody bringing their sacrifice of praise, bringing their offering, bringing their talents to the house of God, bringing themselves so that they can encourage their brother and sister. You think that's equivalent. You know why you can do that comfortably? Because you don't really care about the people in the house. You only care about you. And God knows that. You only care about you. That's why you think, as long as I'm online. What about the people that are sitting in the pew that need to get your hug? What about the people that need to hear your voice or to see that, God, my sister made it. All right, I'm encouraged. And somebody gives you a kind word, or you give somebody a kind word. What about them? But it's all about you. And that's that toxicity, that kind of twistedness that we got going on. And we give God anything we want him to have, and then we expect him to bless it. We all got that Cain spirit. right? That Cain mentality. Give God whatever, and then when he rewards Abel, you got an attitude. Now they doing too much. They doing the most. They showing off, or they stole something. You just trifling, and you just selfish, and you want the same benefits that those who show up every day, every week get. That you don't get that. My wife and I were talking. I said to my wife, I said, "Let me ask you a question, sweetheart." And we got to talking about this. I said, when's the last time any of us or any of our daughters been in a hospital? Any of our children? When? I mean, like sick, really sick. She said, no. I said, what? Look, think about it. When have we've had a major catastrophe? She was like, no. I said, but sometimes when you're around people who have these things, you're wondering to yourself, why are they having these issues? And then you can look at the devotion level. Now, this may hurt some of y'all feelings, but y'all gonna have to grow up. There is something to it when you give God all. You may suffer a little while, right? You may go through, but there's something, and I'm not bragging, I'm boasting. I'm just saying that God will have those things go well with you. And when I say that, I keep telling saints, stop doing this dating thing with the Lord, this courting. Stop doing that. Stop trying to finagle, because don't waste time with us. Don't waste time with me. Don't waste time with church folk trying to impress them. If you're gonna do it, man, just come on and do it. If you're gonna live for them, just go ahead and live for them. If you're gonna commit, just go and commit. Why are you acting like you don't know that? Because we all see it. Because you're always in some trouble. You're always sick. Stuff is always going twisted with you. Nothing is going right. You're always up and down, in and out. And you say, well, that's just the way it is. That's not the way it is. That's not the way it is. I'm going to tell you this. I remember a few years ago, it's before I met my wife, a few years ago, out of nowhere, and some of you may have heard me say this before. Out of nowhere, the Lord called me to a fast. He said, I want you to stop sugar, just stop eating sugar and go right to a fast and do it immediately. Right now, I didn't know exactly. I had no idea what it was really about, to be honest with you. And not at the time. I have a good idea now. At the time, I had no idea what this was about. And I said, all right. And I for some reason I got this inkling. Nothing that the Lord said to me directly. The Lord told me directly, stop, go on a fast. I want you to go on a fast right now. I think I did a whole month. Go on a fast. Diet, just fruits and vegetables, all pure, no sugars, no nothing. And I just shut it down. And I did. And man, I'm telling you something. It was hard. But I did. And I knew there was an unction or an inkling in me that I knew that the reason why the Lord called me on this, because he was trying to cure something in my body. I just knew it. I knew it was, I didn't know anything about free radicals. I didn't know anything about fasting per se. I didn't know anything about killing dead cells when you want to fast. I didn't know anything about that. Nothing at all. I had no knowledge of it at all. But I knew that this fast was doing something to heal my body, to ensure that whatever my body was about to undergo, it was going to destroy it, right? And later on, as I began to study fasting and what it does to the body and all the autophagy and all those kinds of things, then I knew exactly. I said, Lord, you were sparing me from probably cancer, or some kind of heart disease or some kind of issue that my body was about to go under unless I obeyed you. Now, let me explain why I mentioned that. Because after a while, I realized that these are some of the things the Lord was sparing me from. And so, which clearly I gotta go on the fast. I get that. So anyway, but then I began the process. Well, how did that happen? How did I avoid these things? By obedience, by being in relationship, by hearing and responding, by knowing it's his voice. See, this is what relationship does for you that the world don't have, right? Other people are not close to the Lord typically would never have heard that. They would never gotten that instruction. Go on a fast because you're going to avoid cancer. Go on a fast because there's something in your body that I got to kill, and the foods that you're eating right now are going to give it life, and I want you to go on a fast. See, turn left. Nope, don't do that. Instructions. Oh, this is what being close to the Lord does for you. I can go on and on and on about times that I asked the Lord for something, or I needed something, and the Lord would like, I'm telling you, I got so many examples of actual examples that I experienced with God, that I knew that He told me to do something, and when I did it, it worked out. It was right what I needed, better than I expected. And the reason why that I have that is because of the relationship we have. It's because that I really am in a relationship with the Lord. I'm not just a Christian or churchy. I have this real intimacy with Him, and He does give me instruction and guidance. And I know, I understand it, and I see it. But that's the benefit. But see, I get that not because I'm better than anybody, but because of my heart toward Him, and to whatever He asked me to do, I'm going to do it. And that's where we got to get to. We got to get to where we're not playing games with Him. We're not playing games with God. And some of you are. And you're not playing games with God because He already knows. You're playing games with yourself. And you really want a blessed life. You're so close. But you keep playing these silly, childish games. Like, you're smarter than Him. But you're not. And you just keep going. You have these ups and downs and ebbs and flows and ups and downs and ins and outs. You're constantly running around this mountain thinking you're making progress, and you're not going anywhere. It's because you're in this toxic relationship with the Lord, and it's hurting you. So the Lord called us to a 5 a.m. prayer. When I first heard it, I thought it was I thought, sounds like something, I don't really, we used to get up online on social media and go in the morning and pray and talk. And that's what a lot of people do now. But the Lord said, I want it in person. That's okay. All right. That's it. That's all. What else am I doing at 5 a.m. in the morning? But what are you doing at 5 a.m. in the morning other than sleeping? Why is that such a hard ask? It wasn't hard for me. I'm actually looking forward to it, to be honest with you, because I know He calls these things for a reason. But why is that a hard ask for us? Like, get up at 5 and go out to the church and pray for an hour. Why is that so ridiculous now? And why is it that if God does call such a fast, and we feel like it's too much, well, look, you don't make sense. Why is that so? You read your Bibles, right? So you know exactly what the people went through in the Old Testament, right? Why is that such a hard? I heard Jesus when He said to His disciples, when He was in prayer at the very difficult time, He was like, you can't pray with me for an hour. I mean, I'm about to give my life for you and for all that you love, and you can't tarry with me for 1 hour. Like, you can't give me an hour. That's what He said to His disciples, right? It was tough. He was in there praying, but man, I don't, for the life of me, it's not that much to ask. And I think if you really stop, and be honest with yourself and really confront yourself and ask yourself, well, what do I do for my family, my husband, my wife, my kids, my job, my whatever you deem valuable. Good to see you, Lady Miles. Whatever you deem important, are you giving God the same? It should be more. It should be more, but are you honestly giving God that you give anything else in your life that you consider valuable? Are you? Just get rid of all the sorry, silly excuses. I don't care about money, all that stuff you think is valuable. All that stuff is a bunch of crap. I'm telling you, are you giving anything in your life the same energy or consideration that you consider valuable? Are you giving that to God? And if you are not, that thing is a god. It's an idol. It's an idol. If it's anything before God, anything before him, it is an idol. And if you are giving any of that to anything else more than you're giving your time, more than you give your energy to God, can God get you to get up and do this? Can God get your time? Can God, whatever that job, whatever that husband, whatever that wife, whatever that baby, whatever you got going on, are you giving it? Are you? Now we don't have to do this in church. This ain't nobody gonna lay hands or slap you down. This ain't that. This is not that. This is not those things that get you all hyped up. I'm talking to you. Are you, when you're in trouble, when you are sick, when things are going sideways, are you praying with God? Are you engrossed with God when you're going through as much as you are all the time? Does it change because you're going through? That's my point. Do you get more intense when you're going through? Why? Then that means that you are not really pursuing God. That's how you should be pursuing God all the time. It should not be these degrees of time that you're going through. I'm going through now, Lord. I'm gonna really pray now. Because I need you. No, you playing games now. Because then when you get that thing, you go right back to your old way. You playing games now. That's toxic. Once you get what you want, Lord, you worship it, and you'll see yourself backsliding. Yes, it's backsliding. You'll see yourself going back. You see yourself not that same energy. You will see it, and you still won't even rebuke yourself and say, you need to stop that. You need to quit all that. You are too grown. You are too grown to be playing up games with yourself. You know good and well that you are not giving God the same attention, the same energy, or the things of God the same attention, or the relationship with God. You know what's funny? I'll even give you this. And I'm going to tell you how to build it. You start pursuing God for relationship with you and him. I'm talking about word, prayer, learning about God. I teach my Bible study. I tell them, ask questions. They have an assignment this week in Bible study. We have Bible studies on Thursday at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8. We have prayer. Listen, we do a lot of praying, which I love. We do a lot of praying. We have prayer at 5 a.m. to 6 on Thursday mornings. And then we have prayer from 6 to 7 Thursday night. Then we go into our Bible study. Oh, y'all pray a lot. But listen, pray. What you talking about? We are one less than other religions. You should pray 3 times a day. Anyway, we trying to get caught up. And y'all going to see a difference. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Y'all, C-fans going to see a difference because we're praying so much. I'm telling you, it's going to be a difference. Anyway, let me get into this. So I think I lost my train of thought. So I think I did. All right, never mind. It'll come back to me. If the Lord wants me to share it, I'll come back to you. But anyway, so when you are, so I told my class, okay, this is it. I told my class, the Bible study, I told them, listen, this is what I want you all to do. I want you to choose three scriptures, three books of the Bible, the authors, the character, the writers in the book, and tell me something about their personality. I think that's the assignment, something like that. But anyway, I tell them, when you're reading the Bible, learn about the characters that you're reading about: Moses and Daniel and Jeremiah and Ezekiel and Matthew and Jesus and Paul and Timothy and Titus. Learn about these. Learn these personalities. Learn these people. Learn about these young men, these men as men, not just characters in the story, but learn about them. Right? And then tell me what they wrote about. Tell me who they wrote to. Tell me the times that they wrote in. What am I doing? I'm trying to ignite a relationship with them in the Bible, right? I'm trying to cultivate a relationship to help them develop a relationship with the characters, the people they read about in the Word of God, so they become real people. And what that does is that teaches you how God interacts with us in our various relationships based on our various personalities, excuse me. And so once you do that, you start learning that you might find you may be just like Jeremiah, or you maybe have a little tendency like Moses, or you may have this characteristic like Saul or Paul. So that's what that is for, right? But that's how it is with relationship with the Lord. You start developing a relationship with the Lord, and you start seeing how God deals with you. God deals with you differently. He deals with me, right? Based on my personality, based on how I'm wired, based on what I'm called to do. God knows my passions. My passion is for souls. My passion is to see people get delivered. I can't even tell you why I love that so much. I can't tell you why I love to see people get delivered. I don't know what and I know it does nothing for me personally. Like, I don't get any money out of it. I don't get any benefit. Most times I don't even get a thank you. But it doesn't even matter, because there is something in me that I'm called to that, right? I'm called to it. It's that thing that I love doing, changing lives. That's that thing. And I can't get away from it. I know that. So, but that's what you want to do. You want to get to the place in your life when you're serving him that it doesn't even matter. Like, if you go broke doing it. I can't tell you how many times I've given my last to working and doing things in the kingdom. And it's like, it's because I want him to be pleased. I want my God to love me and to be pleased with me. And I like hearing him say, well done. I love it when the Lord blesses me and tells me that he is pleased with me. That means something to me. I know when my Father is pleased with me. I know it. When we finished the church, when we got to this phase, we did this phase of the church, I said to the Lord, please accept my sacrifice. Please accept our sacrifice. I would say that, Lord, please. I'm not, this is the best I could do with what I had. And yes, so it was taxing. Yes, we were up late, 12, 1 in the morning, got to get up and go to work all day and go back to the church and make sure everything was on point and make sure it was hard. It was tough. It was difficult. We were sleepy. I was exhausted. Grace and peace. Elder Conquest. I was exhausted. But the reality is this, it didn't even matter, because he blessed it. And how I know? Because of the move of God we had, right? During the celebration, the excitement, the presence, how he began to bring things into place. When you are serving the Lord, I'm telling you, and you've given him all you have, and you'll withhold nothing from him, right? When you know that, man, life changes, saints. It changes. Everything changes. And I want, that's what I want for our people. I want us to get to a place when our relationship with the Lord, I want us to be not to have this toxic kind of toward this twisted thing we got going on. I want us to really, really, really take advantage of the time we have in this life, because people are dying. I mean, dying. People that you don't even think are checking out, they're just gone. And we believe we got all this time left. One time the Lord asked me a question. I never forget this. I said, Lord, he asked me a question. And I think I'm gonna close with this. He says, what would you do if you only had 2 years to live? Or I forget exactly. I think he might have said 5 years, but then I started asking myself, what would I do different if I had a month to live, or if I had 2 years to live? And you know, the truth of the matter is, y'all, there is a time, right? Whether it's a year, whether it's 6 months, whether it's 2 days, that number exists for all of us. There is a time. We all have a certain time left. So think about it. Okay, so say you think it's 10 years. So what would you do different if you had 10 years left? The reason why we don't think that way, because we really think we have more than that. Some of us have really believed that the way we act like we're going to live forever. We do. We act like we're going to live forever. We act like we're going to live forever, like ever. But if you only had a year, 2 years, 3 years left, what would you do different? How would you serve God? Because the truth of the matter is, if you knew you were dying in death's doors within the next hour, 2 hours, or 5 hours, that you were going to close your eyes forever, your conversation with the Lord would be different. Your it'd be different. You start asking God for forgiveness. You start asking God to take care of your kids. You start trying to get things in order. What's wrong with you? Why don't you do that now? You start making sure your relationship with the Lord is tight. Why aren't you doing that now? Why aren't you reading now? Why aren't you praying now? Why aren't you pursuing God now? Why aren't you trying to store those good works up now? Why would you want to give him the last tidbit? Because you now know, but you don't never know. You never know when is your time. So why would you not give God everything in the moment now? You got the time now. that's that kind of crazy, that toxic way we're thinking. Like, you don't know when your time is up. Look around you, people. So why aren't you really going out now? Why? And I'm not just talking about all the service. I'm talking about even how you treat your body, knowing that if you are taking care of your body, whatever you've been called to do, you can do that more efficiently when you are healthy, right? If you're eating right, getting the right rest, not doing all the stuff that y'all do, you can get healthy and do that work healthy. But what are you doing? You abuse your bodies, you do all the stuff you do, and then when you're all beat up, all exhausted, all wore out, then you kind of schlep yourself to try to serve and try to do things with God. Why aren't you getting the rest? Why aren't you getting the rest now? Why aren't you trying to take care of your body now? So tonight we're going to bed early. I'm going to bed in a little while. I'm going to sleep, get up early so I can be in prayer. I'm so excited about prayer tomorrow. And you say, why are you excited? Because God called me to it. God called us to. I'm excited. God says, I want you to come to pray. That to me is like, man, that's big. Because I know he's got something he is working out in us. I know it's something he's trying to do. So I'm excited when God says, come on. I want you with me in prayer at the church at 5 a.m. That's where I want you. Really? Me? Yes. Yes, you. I want you there. I want you to go in there and pray. I want you there. It's okay. You got it, man. That's special. You know, it reminds me of my grandson. My grandson, AJ. AJ, for some reason, like, if I give him something to do, he gets excited. Say, I want to take you to work with me. All right, let's go, Grandpa. Because he that's how he gets. All right, yeah, I'll come help you. Let's go. I want to do some work. I want to go. That's how I am that's that excitement. That's what I have when the Lord called us to pray at 5 a.m. That's the excitement I have, because I know that that's where he wants me to be. Now, mind you, I hadn't always had this relationship, and it's been, it's taken me a while to get here. But I'm trying to get you all there faster. So anyway, I'm done. I really didn't come on for that long talk. But I want you all to realize that don't treat God like you treat people in your life. Don't treat God like you treat. Get out of that. Do whatever you can. Fast. Get out of that toxic mentality with God. Just stop it. Just stop. And I see it. I see this clear as day. And because I was there. I was there. I see it's as clear as day. And I know you're struggling. So I'm compassionate toward you. I really am. I'm not judging you. I don't do that. I know you're struggling, trying to get your bearings and trying to get yourself back. And I understand that takes time for some of us. My heart, I'm with you. And I'll give you all the instructions and guidance and the love I can give you to help you get back there. But don't just wobble and be out there on purpose. When you hear truth, when you get guidance, go after it. Right? Go after it. When you have been summoned or called or ministered to, take advantage of that. Grab hold to that and go after it. Right? Go after it. God does honor sacrifice. I know y'all don't. God and you, we therefore I present my what? Body a living sacrifice. That means that whatever you need me to do, I am giving that to you. That means that ain't mental. That's you bringing your body, right? That means sometimes you have to sacrifice your body. Trust me. That's what that means. It's not like, well, it's a mental thing. God, no. The Lord said to me one time, I'm gonna let you go with this one. He said, and I told y'all this. Would you lose everything for me? I said, Lord, everything. He says, well, then we'll see. Because God ain't about, like, y'all think that God is all about your words. God, your faith is going to stand trial. Your words are going to test you. Your devotion, your commitment, your vows, your promises are going to be tested. Everything you promised God is going to be tested. I'll never turn my back on you again. It's going to be tested. Lord, whatever you need me to do, I will do. Y'all said this. If you just bring me out of this, it's going to be tested. Lord, I'll be committed from the day forward. That everything you say to God is going to be tested. Absolutely. That's one of the reasons why this old saints used to make us testify in the church, because they know that we overcome by the words of our testimony, that if you say it, you are held to it. But people lie so much now, it don't matter. They say what they want to say. I'll be there and they don't show up. What are you talking about? Who are you kidding? But everything you say is going to be tested. I'm committed. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure. And you don't come, can't find you. See, all that. People do that now. They don't care. No conscience. Don't even apologize for not showing up. Don't even tell you. Don't even say, I'm so sorry. Don't even say nothing. They just don't show up and they keep on going like they never did nothing. All right. This is in time that we're in right now. This ain't the time for that coddling and that petting you on the head and all that. You're going to have to hear it straight. I got to give it to you fast because you got to run with it. Point blank, period. You got it? That's what we are now. We can't. The Bible says some of you are, you should be teachers of the word, but you are still sincere to milk. You're still trying to get that milk. You should be further along now. You should be way down here. You should be teaching now. taking ministry and work. You should be further along. But you know what? Because nobody's telling you the truth. Everybody's letting you get away with stuff, letting you say, do what you want to say. All that stuff is out the window with me. I'm sorry, we ain't doing that no more. And that's for me too. That ain't just for you. All right. I don't know why people think that, pastors and leaders don't want to stay home and kick up in front of TV and not do nothing. I can't. Listen, be honest with you, I didn't even want to do this, but I felt pricked. God bless you, Elder. I felt pricked that I had to share this with you because I want you to grow. There's not that many people who are really committed to the things of God. There's not. A lot of people, but there's not a lot of them that are really committed. I'm not saying I'm so special. No, I'm just telling you. That's why small church don't bother me. It bothers a lot of people, but don't bother me. It used to bother me, but not anymore. Not anymore. It's people. It bothers a lot of people. It don't bother me. And the reason why it don't bother me because God didn't change the world with a lot of people. He changed the world with 12, and one of them was a devil, another one was a liar, it was a doubter. So tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. prayer. Saturday, we're going to be out in front of the church. We're going to be preaching. Got hamburgers and hot dogs. We're giving away. Oh, let me tell you. Okay, I'm going to promise you with this one. I'm going to let you go. So, of course, I got this unction to do this cookout, this evangelistic outreach cookout in front of our church on Saturday for 4th of July, right? And I know people got plans and family. I get it, man. Knock yourself out. Go do what you got to do. This ain't really, that's not where I'm at. I just want to know, who can be there, who can commit, whatever. It'd be great to hear testimonies, preaching, whatever. Anyway, but I knew that God gave me this to do. Now, I'm going to tell y'all, y'all gonna listen. God, I wish y'all would just believe what I'm telling y'all. So anyway, I'm saying, okay, I'm Lord, you want me to do this again? You can do it. It's easy. We get hamburgers, hot dogs, and rolls, and get some ice and water, and put the microphones out and preach. That's it. Right there. We're right there in front of our church. We're gonna preach. We're gonna hand out food. We're gonna love on the community. Let them know we're there. All that. Right now, Tuesday, I said to myself, which was yesterday, oh man, I gotta get a grill. I didn't reserve a grill. Listen to this, y'all. I'm gonna let you go with this. I did not reserve a grill, and this is a 4th of July weekend. I didn't reserve a grill. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. So I'm calling these rental places. Listen to me. I'm telling you how God works. I call one place. Nope, we ain't got none. Sold out. I said, really? Charcoal and propane grill? Yep, sold out. I said, oh, here we go. Call another place. Nope, ain't got none. Sold out. Oh Lord. Now ain't that many people that rent these things out. God bless you, Brother Ron. And so I was like, oh man, what am I gonna do? Because I done told these people we're gonna go out and cook on the grill. We're gonna right in front of the church. We got water. We're gonna preach. I'm asking people to come. I put the flyer out already. And I said, Lord, what am I doing? So I'm going through, and I said, I saw this number, and it was a number for a guy who was in Hartford. Because now at this point, I'm like, oh Lord, I thought maybe I might have to cancel. But then I said, but Lord, you told me to do this. If you told me to do this, you knew what I was going to do, right? You knew that I was short notice. I didn't really do, didn't think about really reserving it until just now. And so I'm looking through the number, and I call this guy way up in Hartford. And I said, he ain't gonna bring no grill down here for me. That's what I said. Let me tell you what happened. I see you, Elder. Because listen, I didn't want to go pick nothing up. I didn't want to do none of that. I wanted to bring it there, whatever. Because I know I don't have the staff. Anyway, so I called the number. I said, nah, this guy, hang on, man, no. Right? Listen to me. This is good. I hung up the phone. The guy called me back. I hung up the phone. I said, I didn't even, whatever. The guy called me back. I looked at the number. I said, what? I picked up the phone. I said, hello. He said, yeah. Did somebody call me? I said, you grill guy. He said, yeah. I said, well, I know it's short notice. And I said, I need this grill. He said, I said, I need a gas propane grill, 5 feet, the big one. He was like, yeah, I got plenty of those. What? What? I said, well, now this is the litany test. I said, well, I'm down in Bridgeport. I don't know if you're going to deliver it down. I was just down there the other day. Of course, I'll bring it to Bridgeport. You just tell me when you want it. I'm bringing it. Oh, my God, y'all. I said, Lord, listen, you never disappoint. You never disappoint. And this is the kind of stuff. Now, you say to yourself, why are you so giddy about doing this? Because it's something that the Lord placed in my heart to do, and I'm excited about doing it, right? I'm excited about doing it. So he said, just email me the place, and I'm bring the grill down, have it for the day. I'll come back that night and pick it up. I said, look at God. Look at God. See, all you have to do is be willing to do it, right? God will make it work, saints. So we get the grill, we get the 2 big cans of propane, and we set, saints. We set. And listen, it's not a big deal. I'm telling you, I need me a grill worker. I need somebody to work on a grill while we're evangelizing. I could do both. We'll do something. We'll figure it out. Because we done got down here now. We're gonna go for it. But this is how God bless. This is what God does, right? And this is how he opens doors. This is how he makes ways. And guess what? Just like he did that for this event, God will do that stuff for you in your life. And he does for me in my life, and my wife's life. There's stuff that we can tell you about the blessings and miracles of God that will blow your mind. And not because we're no better than you. It's because he always gets what he wants from us. We're always trying to make sure we're available for the things that he cares about. And that's what this is about. Things that he cares about. And who he cares about is souls. He cares about the lives. He cares about people we minister to. He cares about our devotion. He cares about your love for the things that he loves. Yeah. He said, "Well, you got to have a nice sound system because it relieves distractions when people are trying to hear the word. The worst thing the world is here, trying to hear the message in a bad sound system. So why not get the best for the Lord? Why not do the very best? Why not get the best chairs for the people of God? Why not try to get the best environment? That's why we clean the church on Saturdays. We clean the church because it's devotion, man. It's a part of presentation. You're taking care of the house of God. My house should be called the house of prayer. The Bible ran out thieves and money changers out the church. What makes you think that he wants you to treat that church any kind of way? This is what he wants from us. So let's give him what he wants. And I'm telling you, he'll start healing your body, man. Stuff that start working out for you. It'll blow your mind. People start lining up for you. Amen. Love you. Gotta go to bed. Got prayer in the morning. All right. I'm praying for you. If you have prayer requests, just shoot them to me. If you have my text information, if you have my phone number, you can shoot me a text for prayer if you need have a particular request. Or you can go to our inbox and send it there, and we'll pray. But we'll be praying online tomorrow. It will be on one of the lives, only because of people who are not in this area who pray with us. So God bless you, my brother, man. So yeah, chime in. Listen, I won't see you because it'll be over the room, but stick your head into prayer. If you're in the area, you want to come to the church. Come there. It's gonna be awesome. All right, I gotta go. Love you all. Have a wonderful night. And again, if I don't talk to you before now on the 4th, happy 4th. Enjoy your holiday. Enjoy your weekend. All right, and let God be the center of it all. You guys have a wonderful night. Ron, man, your family got to come visit us, man. 1858 Barnum Ave, Bridgeport, Connecticut. I don't know if you're still around. I don't know if you're still in this area or not, man. You down south? People be traveling, man. Can't keep up with y'all. All right. All right. God bless. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys. Okay. Yeah. All right. So you're still here. All right. Good. Yeah. All right. So we're on 1858 Barnum Ave. Oh, Waterbury. All right. You're not that far. All right, my man. So whenever you get a chance, man, come through. You know, we're right there in Bridgeport. You and the family, man. Love to see you. All right, y'all. God bless. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Be well in Jesus' name.